M&M. It's no specific color. You're just going to get one. And you guys kind of have two jobs. The first part says talk to your partners and discuss some of the things you observe about the M&M and write down your observations. So it's a writing part. And then for the second one, it says break open the M&M. So you're actually going to break it open, look inside, and describe what you observe in words and make a drawing to show what is inside the M&M and what it looks like. So you'll be doing descriptions in words and also in pictures. So you have your colors there for you. So your M&Ms. You guys can do 1 and 2 right away, okay? One each. You're welcome. Whichever one you want.
It's kind of like shiny, and it has like a shell over it. Yeah. Once you like warm it up, it's kind of like slippery. It leaves a little bit of the chocolate melts in. It leaves a bit of color. I didn't mind. Okay. No. No. Didn't do this. No. So we're supposed to break them? Okay.
Okay, so let's break them against the table.
Fine.
That works better.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
mine.
It doesn't have to break in half perfectly.
Oh, that one broke.
It doesn't matter.
I got one.
We get a clean break on some, and then others, it's kind of all into a bunch of pieces, so it doesn't matter. So for the first part, we write about observations. So if you're going to tell someone who's never seen an M&M before, what would you tell them?
Is that even possible?
What?
Is that even possible to tell a person?
Well, let's pretend it was someone from another planet. What would you tell them?
I see white So they have like white specks on it. It's the M, of course, but
Just the color.
yeah, there's like white specks. Yeah, all
This
over it.
part, and then it's very shiny,
Yeah,
kind of
kind
smooth.
of like
So we'll write white specks,
Yeah.
shiny and smooth.
yep,
What are you guys doing?
shiny and
It's funny, yeah. Sometimes they crumble all over, kind of.
now we should do we just open it?
What's your question?
Oh, no. Mine's and so like breaks it.
They are hard to break, but and it's okay if you break them.
It's like a big chipper here.
Okay,
So how we do one, I guess.
where'd the other end of mine go?
Talk to your partner, discuss something that you observe about the M&M. Okay, so I noticed that on the outside there's color, but on the inside there's chocolate.
Very good observation. Go ahead and write these things down, then any of those descriptions that you can write about your M&M.
She said that's okay.
Did yours?
Okay.
Oh, you did that.
Then, here, you can just look at one line if you want. Okay, so there's like different colors of brown. Wait, no, we write.
So there's like chocolate in the middle and then like
Shiny.
crust on the outside.
Yeah.
Like a white crust?
No, like a shell.
Like a turtle shell.
Yeah.
Various layers.
Yeah, because I have. What are you drawing? Really all the colors for the most part. I guess I don't know on brown.
And the color looks basically like a shield for the chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the color on the outside is basically like a shield for the chocolate. So it doesn't like melt or something like
Layers
that.
stacked together, and there's like a white ring around the chocolate.
That was good. I'm gonna probably be asking you about that. How are you guys doing? You can move on to that one too. You've done that.
It's Thursday. I don't know. It's not the party week.
Not even the party.
Girls are usually go ahead and do number 2 where you guys draw your interior or like a side view. And then what you noticed about it.
Yeah, it like has layers of chocolate in it. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of great.
Any other observations?
Oh, your picture.
I'd say there's a green arc by the colors.
There's like a shell on the outside of it.
The more heat you put to it, like it starts smearing. The outside of it's gross.
And the color comes out.
Like what I see, it's like you have the outer color, and then once you break into it, like you see that there's like a wider inside, like that they didn't like put food coloring inside, so it's like white around the edges.
So it's kind of like a hard shell, then they just put some food down over it. Oh, there.
Are you done with one?
Oh, I broke the shell. Oh, I broke it. Nice. I'd like to get a closer observation. Nice.
Like, mine was melted, and it kind of got creamy,
So you guys are ready over here?
and then it's kind of getting all over the place, and the shell kind of shattered. So there's pieces of shell all over.
If you realize, since you have half your M&M raised there's a small white line within the shell. Mine, I just think that the chocolate inside was kind of like hard.
Nasty. Maybe it's a brownie.
Yeah. But we didn't have brownies.
Wait, is there another brown?
You can see white a little bit.
Do you think I should like add white? I might just do a white line.
Yeah, we don't have white. We'll just leave a white line on here from where the shell starts.
I already colored it.
I would color the too.
I'll just do it.
The shell. That was a pretty clean break then, huh? Alright, I'm noticing that most of you have most of 1 and 2 complete. So I would like to hear what you guys have for descriptions. And a lot of times I say, think about pretending that this is, when you describe these things, that nobody has ever heard about it before, so that we can think of everything we could say about it. So, that being said, who can share what they have about their M&M? What are a few descriptions you have? Yes, great.
We put that the color of the outside of the M&M, it's basically like a force field or a shield for the chocolate, so it won't like melt or break or anything.
Yeah, it serves as a protective layer. I like that. That's very cool. Okay, what else did you guys add?
For
number, we're kind of on number 1, yeah, just like the whole M&M.
I said white specks, like if you look closely, and then it's like shiny and smooth, and then all of them have an M on it.
Those are wonderful descriptions. Very good. Shiny, smooth. And then when you talk about white specks, where do you see
Like
that?
when you just like look, it's like on the outside of the blue. If you look closely.
Okay.
Just kind of, I don't know.
Part of the coloring. I like that. What else? Go ahead.
I said it was blue round and it kind of looks like a saucer.
Okay. So describing its shape, it reminds you of a saucer. What else?
Well, I put that it was layered and it has a white line in between the shell and the chocolate.
Okay, so you're looking at actually when you broke it apart. And what are you talking about when you talk about the layers?
Well,
What do you
there's
mean by
like
that?
one layer of coloring, one layer of just the plain white shell, and one layer of chocolate. And I think they make it white so it's easier to dye.
Okay, I was going to ask when you talked about the layers, do you think the white part and the color are the same material, or do you think they're different? Do you have any idea?
Well, I think I think it's like, they're different materials.
Okay. Why?
Probably a bit, they're different colors.
Okay.
For one thing. And another thing is they might be the same because see that little M on the top? That's a white that could be carved instead of another white layer.
Okay, so you're saying it's rather than like printed on, it could be carved because you see the white through it? Okay. What do you guys think that the color is the same as the white? Anyone else have any thoughts on that?
I kind of thought they were just the same.
The same material?
Just
imprinted on?
Evan could be right though.
And just dye maybe? Okay. What do you think, or what comments do you have?
When I broke it apart, it kind of reminded me of like the Earth's crust, because
cool.
like you have the different layers, like in the middle, like it's like dark, and then it gets lighter and lighter until like you have a very thin strap, And what I think that the thin strap is like the white band or like
Yes.
the glue.
That's a great analogy to think about Earth's crust.
And
you got more?
yeah. And Alex, he made a great observation of temperature change.
Okay.
He said if you like hold it in your hand for a while, and it starts to like grow warm, and then like it starts smearing.
Okay, so what's happening when it's smearing?
The M is like
Okay.
going all over the place.
So the M itself, the white part, starts to smear if you hold it in your hand. We probably usually don't study them this closely, right? Because we just eat them really fast. Okay, what else, Bailey? What do you think?
When it broke apart, it still had the shell on the outside and chocolate.
Okay.
And then, but I looked closely and it had a white in it.
Okay.
And then I kind of felt like when it was all together, it was smooth. But then when you break it apart, it kind of got rough and everything was breaking off.
Okay, so when it felt rough, do you mean like the inside felt rough, or just the whole M&M is?
The whole.
Okay. So it starts out smooth and you break it up, you get it kind of a new feeling. You guys are saying a lot of words about shape, color, size, all these kinds of things. What does this remind you of from what we've talked about before? Can you think of?
We're describing all the properties.
Yes, we are. Good job. And that's from our variables unit. So good job on that. What else did you want to add, Colleen?
For the inside, we said like different browns, and then Sarah said like there's like various layers like stacked together, and then we like noticed like there's like a white ring around the chocolate.
Awesome. And she drew a really good picture with her layers of the browns. I asked about that. Like, what are those little specks there? And it is different because the outside was more smooth, they noticed, but then it seems layered when you look at the actual chocolate in the inside. So, good. Bree.
On the inside, that we noticed that on the inside of like the M&M, it basically looks like gravel, only like chocolate.
Oh, okay, so like a chocolate gravel. That sounds good. Have you guys ever done this kind of thing before where you've broken apart candy and kind of studied it?
Yeah.
To other kinds of candy too, or no?
It doesn't have a warhead.
Like cereal.
Okay, cereal, pretzel.
Like Lucky Charm.
Okay, so you guys have already been kind of curious about like what's inside here. What is this? Okay, cool. All right, why don't we move on to the next side? All right, here's what we're gonna do, you guys. What I'm gonna do is give everyone a plate, a small plate, and a little cup of room temperature water. And I will give everyone a new M&M because ours are all broken in half. And it says to pour room temperature water into the plate so that it covers the bottom of the entire plate. So you might not need the whole cup because they're fairly full. Actually, I know you won't need the whole cup for this small plate. So just pour what it takes to just cover the bottom of the plate because we don't want to drown our M&M. That's what we're going to put in there. It says once the water has settled, so as long as your table's like not being jostled and pretty still, it says place one M&M in the center of the plate and be careful to keep the water in M&M as still as possible. And it says observe for about 1 minute. When you guys get your M&M and your water's poured and your group's ready, just take a peek at the clock, watch the time, and then when it changes after a minute, you can stop. It doesn't have to be like an exact minute. So for step 3, it says record your observations with words and an illustration. So the same thing before, we're going to write descriptions and kind of draw descriptions. And do you have any questions before I hand it out? Yes?
Are we going to do it like as a group?
Yep, so it'll just be one plate. I'll give one M&M. You'll just get whatever color I grab and go from there. Did you have a question? No? Okay. All right. Hand out the plates on your table, please. Steph, do you want to come and hand out water, please? Let's give each group 1 cup of water. Thank you. Thanks, girls. You guys get blue. And you can go ahead and begin as soon as your group is ready.
Can we put the water in?
You're welcome. Orange? Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. And you guys can pour the water first.
Should that be enough? Yeah, it covers it. Well, maybe a little bit more.
A little more, yeah.
There you go. Okay, you're gonna jump. Put it in the M&M.
Oh, don't drop it.
contaminated water now.
No, I think we need more water because it's not covering the armor.
No, actually, you're not supposed to kill it.
It's 45.
Oh no, it's already dead. It's not alive.
It's 45. We gotta wait till 46.
Okay.
It's gonna be good.
There's like water. Yeah.
Do we take it out now?
Looks like died.
You guys took a look at the clock? Yeah, minute is coming. Is your minute already up? Oh, and you can actually just leave it in there, and then you can start writing about it. Do you want? I can grab you a paper towel.
Oh, now we observe it?
You guys can leave it in a minute and just write about it.
Are we supposed to like move it around when it's a minute?
Nope, just leave it, and then when it's a minute, you can start your drawing and observations. Obviously, it will change as more minutes pass, but go ahead.
Some of the colors still on.
Or we just put it in at 46, like 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it looked like it
Took us
a minute. So.
It looks like it's getting darker.
Getting a light circle is fine.
Yeah, there's like a very light.
It's getting dark.
Yeah, and there's like a light ring around it.
Yeah.
It's been about 30 seconds, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
I like it.
Observe now,
At the
though.
edges, it's
Yeah.
kind of blue too.
Yeah, the edges are looking like more white than they were blue before. Oh yeah, you see a ring around here and that part is like, it's almost like the evidence like absorbing it. So it's like less water now.
What did you say about the white?
Oh, there was like a white ring around it, but now it's out here on the
Okay,
edge.
so why do you think it did a white ring?
I think like right when we dropped it in, it like first went out and then it all took a while and it all, I don't know, I'm not really sure.
So do you think it was?
it's been a
It had nothing to do with the white part of the M&M. It was just the first part of the M&M.
I think it was just the first part. 'Cause the white part was just the white part of the M&M is still face up. So
Okay.
I don't think they had anything.
No, but I mean, when we talked about like how there's a white layer under the color, do you think it had anything to do with that, or was it not to that point yet? Well, I don't either. I'm curious what you guys think. Or what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like there's like I don't know, there's like little, if you look closer, there's like little bubbles. It's like fizzing out, and then the M&M's like white now on the bottom.
The dye's getting like bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just getting darker. It's been 2 minutes actually.
Okay, well then you can start writing and drawing. Those are already really good observations.
That looks good. It's not pretty. Maybe the water.
I need to make it bigger.
They really need to do. We should be able to add more than one color, but prettier.
Okay. For the observations, what do you think it was?
Just like the sun. It looks like a beautiful.
The color started to spread as the time went on.
The dye started to come off.
I think upon first lesson.
I'd say the orange coat was coming off too.
And so was the white coat.
Yeah.
Now it's turning to chocolate.
So the shell started to disappear.
No, it's dissolving.
And then it's kind of getting cloudier.
It's so cool because there's like parts of the shell in the water.
Yeah, and then the top shell. See the chocolate coming.
Yeah,
The white shell is starting to leave.
and then you see the top shell is still there.
Out here is getting lighter.
It's really getting darker.
So I can't believe the shell is just sitting there trying to dissolve off. But there's like
It's like a shell.
the blues aren't.
Well, when it goes up here, it starts fading. When it gets here, it starts
This part had
Oh, I drew one.
Maya.
Oh, it's still fading.
Yeah, it's still fading.
It looks like a sausage.
Yeah, it's starting to fade because we
Now it's like
Because we flipped it.
yeah.
Now it's losing chunks. It's losing the ring on the outside. There's little pieces of it the inside, but it's losing its.
You drew an L on its face. This M&M is not a loser. See, she drew an L.
Well, maybe it is.
Hey, she totally drew an L.
It's losing its green.
Yeah.
It's turning black.
If you come over here, you can kind of see like it's getting brown, and then with all the color, it kind of looks like it's in the shape of something on the inside.
Yeah.
And the white part to me kind of looks like a mushroom. Like the white part is coming out. Yeah, like that. And so kind of like this, because all the coloring of it is off to the side. Yeah, a lot of the coloring is going on the edge, and now the water's starting to turn red.
This is what I think it kind of looks like.
That's a good idea.
I get what you're saying because there can be signs of chemical reactions with this. Okay, guys. I think we should start sharing what we've been observing. So. Let's just talk about at first what you noticed just in that first minute, and I think we already have a lot of new feelings because as I'm walking around I see the changes that take place in like 5 or 6 minutes. But anyway, let's start with you. What did you observe?
At first, the color of the shells start coming off and dissolving in the water.
Okay, good word there, dissolving. How did you know it was dissolving then? Or what do you know about dissolving? What's happening? Bree.
It's dispersing into the water.
Okay, it's dispersing out into the water. Very good. What else did you notice?
Well, I noticed as the time went on longer that you were starting to see the white, and then you would see the chocolate. Like little pieces of the chocolate too.
Flipped it over.
Okay, so before you flipped it, could you see all the layers, or only after you
could see like
You could just see
the
like,
white part under it.
Okay.
the blue, like just kind of coming off and like forming a little rim
Okay.
around it.
Yeah, and what else?
We noticed like we got like a blue rim around the plate after a while.
Okay, and this happened on its own without, or you flipped it, I guess. But
yeah, when we flipped it, it kind of just turned, and when we were writing it, we kind of moved the table a little, so it moved that way. But
you guys, I see on a lot of your plates like kind of like deposits of color. Like maybe it's not spread out perfectly. Why do you think it does that? Why are these like clumps of blue or whatever color? Why do you think it's like that instead of perfectly even? Go ahead.
Maybe like more dye in more places, and then like ours maybe wasn't exactly in the center, so that had to maybe
Okay.
too, but
Okay, so maybe it depends on where your M&M is placed. Maybe it has to do with the dye amount or the color of the M&M. Those are both good predictions. Yes, Haley.
I said, like, when we first put the M&M in, the bottom part that was in the water started turning brighter, and the top that was above water kind of stayed normal. And then after the minute, it starts getting whiter and whiter.
Okay.
And then now it looks like really chocolatey.
Yes.
You can see the chocolate showing through.
That's great. And did you guys turn yours too? I can't remember. So everyone kind of turned. You guys all have this like little mark on the top of your M&Ms who turned it. Why is there a mark there? What do you guys think would be the reason? Why is there one little piece of shell left? Maya?
because that's what it was sitting on.
Yeah, it was sitting, and what was it? What could not happen to it then by sitting, I guess?
It couldn't get the water to go around it.
Yeah,
To try to take
so it was
off the
almost just kind of protected by the plate, right? That one little spot. Tanner had a question about, he was saying, what if we ate an M&M, you guys, just a regular old M&M, and then we compared it to one that had been sitting in the water, and do you think they would taste the same? What do you guys think about that? Raise your hand if you have a comment on that. Let's hear from Steph. We haven't heard from you. What do you think about that?
I don't think it would really taste the same because it was sitting in the water for a while.
Okay.
So the chocolate would taste different because it would be more watery.
Okay.
The first one.
It might be. I think you are onto something. Boston.
A lot of the, I think the top would be off, and I think that's what makes it, taste like that.
Okay, part of the sweetness of the M&M. You guys, how could we do an experiment to find that out. We're not doing that right now, but what could we do if we wanted to say, how do you compare the taste of an M&M that's been in water and a regular M&M? Like, what kind of experiment could we try? You guys have an idea? What would you do, Colleen?
You could like have one M&M dissolve and just have one like maybe sit out and then eat them both, and just
do,
like write down your observations of which one tasted better. And
okay, so and see like kind of like a taste test poll in the class, and did it taste different? Did they taste the same, or what was better or worse about it? Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know either. We could try it. Bree.
By the temperature of the water, would it affect how the color comes off?
Are you asking would it, did you say?
Would it affect how the color comes off?
What do you guys think? What happens if the temperature is colder or hotter? What happens to water? Tanner?
Maybe the M&M will, like the outside will dissolve faster.
If it's which temperature?
If it's warmer.
If it's warmer. I think you're onto something, but why do you guys think a warmer temperature does that? What happens to water when it's heated up? What happens to it? It could boil.
Or no, that's like when it gets really hot.
That could be.
It melts.
It melts, so we could have boiling, we could have melting. What else happens?
It gets bigger.
Okay. It's because of the heat, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens, you guys, when heat is added to something?
It expands.
It expands, okay? So the molecules are moving around faster and expanding, so I think you guys are right. We haven't done the experiment. You know, what would happen if we had hot water on a plate and room temperature? And it'd be interesting to compare cold. Do you think cold would be the same as room temp, or would it be slower than if it's cold? I don't know.
I think it would make much difference.
You don't think it would make as much difference when you talk about cold to room temp?
Yeah.
And then you think you would see a difference with warmer temp?
Depends like how cold. If you like let it run under the faucet for like a minute, it's gonna be really cold.
Maya?
Like in the summer, if you left the bag M&Ms in the car, it would melt. But in the winter, they would feel colder, but it wouldn't really do anything.
Okay, that's a good observation. So you're taking like a real life experience. If I left my M&Ms in the car, they melt. You know, in the summer, hot day, like an oven when you open your car. And then in the winter, they're just frozen and they still have all their color shells. So that's a good observation without even looking at water temperatures. That's it. That's lunch.
Yep.